Hi, Appleby. I'm Elsa Heath. Back in November, I felt prompted to write this chapel speech about mental well being and the exquisite worth of each person. Originally, I wanted to speak about the regulation and awareness of mental health, accepting help, and recognizing self worth. Over these last few months, I have slightly changed how I want to approach this topic. I want to start by saying, you are important and you have worth. You are loved, you matter. This might be something that is repeated often, but it is so important and has perpetual relevance. So today, I want to share why all of you are individually important, no matter what, and how serving others, being kind, and having gratitude will give us a fuller understanding of our worth. Recognizing self-worth and importance can be so difficult. I doubt myself, I'm overly self-critical, and overthink my actions. There have been many times in life where I feel at an all-time low. In circumstances like these, it's important to remember that how we feel about ourselves in our lowest moments is not an accurate representation of our true selves. Throughout high school, I have tried to be more conscious of my worth by developing self-love. Honestly, it's never been easy, and a lot of the time I've been reminded of my worth through the kindness of people surrounding me. I'll get into that later. Recently, I've been reading a book by Brené Brown called The Gifts of Imperfection. If I could read the whole book here today, I would. I recommend reading it. But right now, there are some key points that I want to share. The book itself is about living wholeheartedly, the idea of living deliberately, acting with intent, and loving ourselves. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the components of self-love, which begins with compassion. If we want more compassion in our lives, it begins with compassionate acts. A vital part of this trait is acting compassionately towards others just as much as ourselves. Building compassion for ourselves and our lives happens by acting compassionately. Without compassion, there are no connections or relationships with others, which are the most critical components of life. And these critical components of life are impossible without love and belonging. Love isn't always something that comes naturally. It often needs to be nurtured and practiced and cultivated between people. It's only possible to love others as much as we have love for ourselves. Similarly, belonging goes hand in hand with our levels of self-acceptance. Brené Brown describes love and belonging in this way to convey the importance of practicing self-love and acceptance in order to develop those feelings and actions as we interact with others. From my personal limited life experience, I know this is true. When I'm feeling worthless and have no self-love, I don't treat others and myself the way we all deserve to be treated, with kindness. And if we don't experience love and belonging, we don't function the way we're supposed to. As Brown says, the absence of love and belonging will always lead to suffering. Reading this book, The Gifts of Imperfection, has widened my perspective and understanding of past experiences and changed my interpretation of how I live my life now. I now know, and I hope you know from my brief explanation, that acting towards others with compassion, love, and acceptance is just as important as treating ourselves in that same way. And in order to treat ourselves in that manner, we have to believe we are worth it. I know with surety that every single person at Appleby, in Oakville, in Canada, and in the whole world are deserving of compassion and love. Nothing is comparable to the individual value of every soul. Earlier, I shared that the kindness and love expressed to me by people in my life has been vitally important to taking the first steps of recognizing my self-worth. I have so many stories to share about amazing friends who were kind, showed me love, and made me feel like I belong. My journey towards self-love has been long and it isn't over, but it has been supported by many people. Grade 8 was the beginning of the serious mental struggles I had dealing with self-worth. Every day seemed monotonous, sad, and empty. However, I had a friend in my first class of the day who always greeted me with a smile and was enthusiastic about my presence. Despite my apprehension for the day ahead, the simple smile and greeting completely changed my perspective on life. That friend made life a little more bearable and a little more worth it. In grade 10, an acquaintance went out of their way to introduce themselves in an event and invite me to be a part of their group. Their excitement to see me and their joy for life was so apparent and genuine that it encouraged me to see the beauty of life surrounding me. That simple greeting helped me to find a great group of friends, and I found love and belonging for myself because of the love and belonging they showed me. And in turn, I was able to show love and acceptance towards them. As we live our life, it's important to express love and belonging to others to have a heightened sense of love and belonging for ourselves. When I moved to Appleby, it was pretty difficult, but I had so many similar experiences of people reaching out, even with a simple smile that completely changed my perspective of Applebee. Smiling is such a simple act that expresses compassion, love, and acceptance for yourself and others. Throughout these years, I've tried to repay those acts of kindness in my interactions with people, and I have found that by reaching out, serving those in need of a friend or those in need of comfort has helped me just as much as it's helped them. Certainly, it's helped me feel self-love and belonging here. As I finished out my last year at Applebee in a completely different country during lockdown, I still found very meaningful ways to connect with people. It's so easy to be kind and genuine through very simple acts, whether that's a compliment, a smile, or a basic greeting. It has a much larger subconscious impact than you can probably imagine. These deliberate actions inspire love and belonging within yourself and towards others. They help to nurture connections and relationships. Acting with love and belonging helps us to find self-love and acceptance. Both are equally important to our needs as humans. Acting deliberately is vitally important for living wholeheartedly, with purpose and love. Our everyday interactions with others can be positively influenced by treating others with compassion and love. At Applebee, every individual has the ability to improve someone's day through very simple acts of kindness, even on Zoom, even in quarantine, and even from different countries. These acts have the ability, at the very least, to brighten a person's day. At the most, change their outlook on life the way it did for me. And always, these simple acts will help you to recognize your undeniable individual self-worth. I'm not perfect or anywhere near perfect when it comes to self-love, acceptance, and understanding of worth. Especially throughout COVID-19, I felt incredibly dismayed, discouraged, and downtrodden by this very universal situation. But the vitality of self-love and love towards others starts by recognizing the need for love in your life. And the best way to develop that self-love and comprehension of self-worth is by acting that way towards others. When I was at my lowest point, smiling back at someone who smiled at me made all the difference. And it developed over time into grander actions of acceptance and love. In order to act with love and belonging, we must believe we deserve it. Brene Brown says, it's as simple and as complicated as this. If we want to fully experience love and belonging, we must believe that we are worthy of love and belonging. The greatest challenge for most of us is believing that we are worthy now, right this minute. Worthiness doesn't have prerequisites. Here's what's at the heart of wholeheartedness. Worthy now, not if, not when. We are worthy of love and belonging now, right this minute, as is. This is my favorite passage from her book. It's refreshing to hear that despite flaws, imperfections, and insecurities, and lack of current self-acceptance and tolerance, everyone is deserving of love and belonging. I am worthy, and I know you are worthy of love and belonging. You have individual worth and importance beyond your comprehension. So, for my fellow grade 12s, I encourage you to not check out of school quite yet and still make a conscious effort to develop connections and relationships with classmates. For the rest of Applebee students, I hope you step out of your comfort zone throughout middle school and high school to help someone who may need a friend or just some extra love. I hope everyone here will recognize their undeniable worth and individual value as a person that is always present. I know, without a surety of a doubt, how incredible every single one of you are. Always. Thank you, Applebee.